everybody. As Sandy said, I am the Toastmasters of the day today. I am the VP of membership for the club. Sandy, I'm just going to make one corrections to what you said. And this theme of lead, follow, and step aside was set up by Erica. Okay, Erica was going to be the Toastmaster of the day today. Okay, before I start the meeting today, I want to acknowledge certain individuals, certain leaders with whose support this meeting, without their support, this meeting would not have been possible. So first of all, I want to acknowledge Erica. Erica was going to be the Toastmaster of the day. And then when I said that, hey, I want to do that too, she stepped aside and says, Dinesh, you can do it. So that's a true example of the leadership. Erica, thank you for doing that too. And then Fursey and Nikhita, they were going to be the evaluators. And yesterday when I reached out to them because we were looking for the speakers, they said, sure, we will do that. So that's another example of leading from the front. Both Fursey and Nikhita stepped in. Similarly, is Sreshi Karan. Sreshi stepped in to do the role of the table topic. And Luz, I reached out and Luz said, okay, you're looking for speakers. I will do the speech. But then looking at what was involved onto it too, she said, can I do it next week? But again, that's a true example of stepping up and doing that too. And last but not the least, I know Priya is not here today. Priya did the first post on our Leadership Speak LinkedIn page yesterday. So here's the question that I'm going to ask everybody is, how many of you, there's two parts of the question I'm going to ask. How many of you know that Leadership Speak has a LinkedIn page? Put it in your chat. And two, if you know that Leadership Speak has a LinkedIn page, have you joined it? So I'll give everybody 1 minute to do it, and then we will proceed with the meeting. Two parts of the question. Do you know if Leadership Speak has a LinkedIn page? And the second is, if you know, have you joined that LinkedIn page so far? 1 minute, please, and then we'll proceed with the meeting. Perfect. There's a couple of answers coming in. Yes, yes. Some have said that they are not active on LinkedIn, which is understandable. Okay. Nazim said he didn't know that this peer Leadership Speak has a LinkedIn page, so he hasn't joined. But Bird and Luz and everybody has said. So the Leadership Speak now has a LinkedIn page, and if you are active on LinkedIn, I would encourage you to join that page, because the intent we have is to create more awareness, create more visibility. Moving on, the agenda for the meeting today, as we said, is lead, follow, and step aside. However, I'm not doing it alone. I have a team of people that are going to help me, and the team is our general evaluator. I know Francois hasn't joined so far. Correct me if I'm, yeah, he has. So Peggy has stepped in to do the role of the general evaluator. I have table topics as Sreshi Karan, and we have a timer as Luz. So may I request Luz to show the role of the timer is first, and then we'll go on to Peggy to explain her role too. Luz?
Yes, I will be timing the table topics, speeches, and also the evaluations.
Yes. So green, yellow, and red. Okay.
Is it possible for somebody to send me the agenda, please? I don't have it.
It's in the chat.
I connected late, so I don't, it doesn't show up on my chat.
I'll post it again.
I mean, not late, but after
Yeah, that's okay.
somebody
Buddy is
posted.
going to do.
Thank you so much.
Buddy is going to do that too. Okay. And then Peggy, can you explain your role as a general evaluator also?
Yes, the general evaluator evaluates the overall meeting. So whether we start on time, end on time, how we did as a club, filling the different roles. And I also introduce the evaluation team, which consists of the speech evaluators, the timer, the grammarian, and I'm probably missing somebody, but I will pick up by the time I get to coming through my role. And just an overall general overview of the meeting. So back to you, Dinesh.
Thank you so much, Peggy. And as we said, today is a special day because we have many members being there at the District 86. So Peggy is our grammarian also. Peggy, do you want to share the word of the day today?
Yes. The word of the day is stewardship. And I've put the definition in the chat. So, and it means basically stewardship is a word that I picked because of a previous job I used to do as well, where we were the stewards of an infrastructure application within a technology group. So stewardship is really important nowadays, in particular when we're dealing with environmental challenges and things like that. So it is the act of caring for or improving with time. And an example of that is it is important to focus on stewardship of the land to ensure a healthy and sustainable environment for generations. It's also something like taking care of a large household, the arrangements for a group or resources of a community. And I also really like this word because it is so relevant for Toastmasters. And the first note I put on that one as an example of stewardship is the responsibility of leading within Toastmasters, inside and outside of the club, while demonstrating our core values of respect, integrity, service, and excellence. So I am going to be listening for anybody who uses the word stewardship in their, whether it's a speech or a table topics or just general comments made within the meeting. So I would encourage everybody to use the word stewardship if possible. Back to you, Dinesh.
Thank you so much, Peggy. Thank you. Moving on to the toast of the meeting. Leadership is a privilege. What do leaders do? Leaders inspire others. Individuals, leader inspires organizations through their actions. However, leaders have a responsibility also. And the responsibility that the leaders have is, the leaders have a responsibility to listen to their team. Leaders have a responsibility to remain calm under a stressful situation. Okay? Leaders have to make decisions. And when they're making decisions, the decisions that the leaders make, they know their decisions are going to impact people. So the leaders needs to have empathy. Leaders needs to have listening. And the speaker that we had a couple of weeks back or so, they said, good leaders are good communicators. This is what we all learn in Toastmasters, communication and leadership. Good leaders are good communicators. And here at Leadership Speak, we all are leaders. We all inspire each other. Today's meeting is a perfect example of how everybody is stepping in to ensure that the show must go on. So let's raise our glasses to not only the leaders of this club, but to all the leaders of this world for inspiring individuals, for inspiring the organizations. Let's raise a toast.
Leaders of the world.
Leaders of the world.
To leaders of the world.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We are now going to move on to our prepared speeches portion part of the meeting. And as you always know, the first portion of this speaking is our leadership speak. And today we are honored to have Bud Brown giving the speech on leadership speak. As you all know, Bud is our VP of Education also. So we are going to be learning a lot from our VP of Education also on the topic of this. His speech title is Wonderful. So Bud Brown, wonderful. Bud Brown, take it away, Bud.
Thank you, Dinesh. I'm going to insert a little bit of a description that I should have sent to you, my bad, that my feeling that I have a basis to speak to you today is based on 20 years as a corporate trainer in leadership. So this is something I'm coming from, and here's the speech. Wonderful, great, fantastic. That was fabulous. Loved it. Those are all things I have heard from evaluators in talking about a speech that they were giving an evaluation on. The problem is, what did I just say? I said all sorts of superlatives describing wonderful things, great speeches. And if that was the only feedback that a speaker got, I would be a little nervous because, especially in Toastmasters, if they're a new speaker in Toastmasters, they might think, well, if I'm so great, what do I need to be in Toastmasters for? We could lose members that way. Here's another way we could lose members. Another thing that I've heard in speeches is a brief positive and then a litany of things the person could have done. You know, that was a pretty good speech. I like the way you wrote it. You actually didn't have an opening, body, and conclusion, and your vocal variety made you sound like that teacher in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he just goes, I've been talking like this all the time, and your voice was like that, and your body didn't move much at all. You didn't engage the audience, and in addition to that, your ending was too abrupt. And as a final note, it was a pretty good speech. Now you get an evaluation like that, and you might think, holy crap, I can't live up to these guys' expectations. And also we could lose members. The point of an evaluation is to give people positive feedback, instructive insights into how they can improve, and then it wind up with more positive feedback. But the positive feedback can't be vague. It can't be, like we talk about using the sandwich approach. And so you have the bread of the sandwich. It says, you tell them something they did well, and then there's the meat of the sandwich, something they could improve. And then there's the bread again, which is something else they did well. But I'm going to suggest that needs to be improved. When we're talking to people about something they did well, we need to be specific. We need to let people know exactly what it is they did well. Dinesh, listening to you this morning, I love the way you enunciate beautifully. I have no doubt what words you're speaking at any time, and you're giving clear and lucid descriptions of what it is you're trying to get us to think about. That's helpful. That's more like what I'd like to see is that top layer of the bread there. So that's the first thing. Second thing is in what they could improve. I'm going to enhance that. I'm going to suggest it should be how they can improve, what they could do to change the way they're speaking. So earlier I was talking to Sandy about the technology of using Zoom. And she said she wanted to talk to me about how to use that. And I'm a little nervous about that because I'm not an expert in Zoom. As you can see, I was just trying to point to the bread there and I pointed with this hand because I get mixed up when I'm looking at the screen. But if you're giving somebody insight on how to improve, you can say something like, when you're using Zoom, instead of using those, what you'll see so often, I'm going to see later today in the District 86 conference, people doing a PowerPoint presentation, but they haven't learned how to make their presentation, their background. They simply show what their computer screen is showing, and they become a little postage stamp size face at the side of the screen. Well, if your PowerPoint's going to say it all, what do they need you for? You need to make your PowerPoint something that is as it used to be when we were live, something in the background, something that's behind you that maybe enhances the image that you are, but doesn't have so many words that make your audience sit there and they're looking at your screen instead of looking at you. And then finally give them something else. Now, how did you come up with all this stuff to say to people? I think part of the thing, a few weeks ago, we had a presentation about how evaluations in Toastmasters don't work. And I disagree, but I didn't want to say that at the time. I believe that evaluations in Toastmasters are based on one thing that does work. And that thing is this. People don't want to know the technical aspects of their speaking. They don't want to hear, vocal variety actually is more than just loud or soft. It's pacing. It's putting pauses into your speech. They don't want to hear all the technical. They don't mind getting that direction. But what they really want to know is, how did your speech make them feel? That's important to a speaker. So when you're listening to a speech as an evaluator, I encourage you to do this. How does this make me feel? Is the first one. And why is it that they're able to make me feel that way? Why is it that I felt inspired by Dinesh's toast? Because when he was toasting, he was giving us insight. He was giving us details of what leadership is supposed to be. It was clear spoken and it made me understand what it is he was getting at. I really love the way I hear people say, your speech made me feel excited to take part in the topic you were talking about. I love that because I love hearing people say, this is what it was to me. This is not me speaking from on high as some great elucidator of Toastmasters wisdom. This is me, the guy you were speaking to, and I was listening to what you said. That's what you need to make a list of. Make a list of 4 or 5 things that they did in their speech that made you feel how they wanted to make you feel. But also watch out at the same time for what they did in their speech that you, from your own experiences, could see how they could have made it even better. And then when you get into talking to them about how they could get better, you can give them specific suggestions. I noticed while you were doing your speech that you had a weird background, a very busy background that actually I was looking more at what was on in the background than I was looking at you. And I kind of lost track of what you said there. I would recommend that you try a more bland background, or one that at least has only an image, and a very simple one, of what it is you're talking about. If you do that kind of thing, you're going to be giving people much more insight as to how they can improve. And then take one of the things from the list of 4 or 5 things that you had that were positive and put that at the end. Or at the end, you can summarize. In summary, this did well, this did well, this did well. Here's a way to improve, and this did well. Then your sandwich is going to look a little more like this. And I made the print a little too dark here, so I'm going to talk about what those words are. The words are glow. So glow, grow, and glow. It's easy to remember. You're looking for glow points, you're looking for grow points, and you're looking for glow points. And you want those all to give the speaker something they can work with. That's the idea of the sandwich approach. But doesn't that sandwich look much more appealing than the first one I showed you? The idea is to make sure that your speaker feels like they have accomplished something, that they have reached you, and that they can get better. And here's how. I joined Toastmasters primarily for the evaluations. I'd been working, as I said earlier, 20 years as a corporate trainer, teaching people about leadership. And at the end of each of the training sessions, they would hand out these evaluation sheets. And the evaluation sheets would say, you know, can you make any suggestions? And the idea that I looked at these pile of sheets that I got after one particular performance, and it said, great, wonderful, fantastic. And under things that it could improve, temperature in the room was a little cool. Or, you know, the food at lunchtime wasn't very good, or things that I had no control over. And I thought to myself, how am I going to get better? And then I remembered a speaker I'd heard years before who said, I do recommend trying Toastmasters. And I thought, Toastmasters? I'll give it a shot. And when I saw my first Toastmasters meeting and heard an evaluation that was the kind of feedback I just described, I got excited. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, if you're going to evaluate a speech, try to give them something they're going to get excited about. Try to give them feedback that helps them know what they do well, know how to improve, and know something else they do well. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Bert. Thank you so much. It was pretty inspiring. Let's give everybody 1 minute to give the individual feedback to Bert. Luz, let's do 1 minute for everybody to give individual feedback to Bert for his speech, and then we will move on to the next part of the prepared speeches. Luz, just show red light when 1 minute is up.
It's 37. There are 37 seconds right now. I'll let you know
Okay.
when it's 1 minute.
Yeah, thanks, Luz.
One minute.
Thanks, Luz. Thank you. So moving on, we are now moving on to our prepared speeches. Our first speaker is Vinod Panicker, and Vinod's speech will be evaluated by Erica. So may I request Erica to read Vinod's speech objective, please? Erica, over to you.
I have to apologize, but I don't have the evaluation form.
Okay.
So what I will do is I will apply Bud's process of glow, grow, and glow. And I will observe what he's doing well. I will also provide my insights on what he can improve on. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Erica. So Vinod is going to do a speech title, At Least Give It a Try. Vinod Panicker, At Least Give It a Try. Vinod Panicker. Vinod, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Raise your hands if you have got an unfulfilled dream. Keep that hand over there. Keep it there. Now bring that picture in your mind of that dream. Keep your hand down. Why have you not reached or chased your dream till now? What is it that is stopping you? I don't know what is it that is stopping you, but I can tell what was stopping me from one of my favorite stories, which I had heard from one of our world champion, Dhananjay Hitarachi. Once upon a time, there was a boy who used to love to chase butterflies. From sunrise to sunset, he used to chase butterflies every day in his gardens. And his life revolved around chasing butterflies. Every morning, he used to get up thinking that today I am going to chase a butterfly. He was very happy. One day, while he was chasing a butterfly in his school, his teacher saw him. The teacher called this boy, "Hey boy, come here. What are you doing?" "Sir, I'm chasing butterfly." Butterfly? Girls chase butterflies. Boys play hockey or cricket. Go play football with the boys over there. But sir, no. Do what I say. The boy went to the ground, started playing football. The butterfly came flying to him. The boy looked at the butterfly, but then the word of the teacher came to his mind. Girls chase butterfly. Boys play football, hockey, or cricket. The boy stopped chasing butterfly that day. He grew up. He went to school. He went to college. He took a subject which his parents wanted to take him. He married a girl which his parents wanted to marry him. He got kids. And one day, while he was playing, he always had this feeling of not being satisfied with his life. So while he was playing with his kids, after they got tired, they sat down. And then he saw a butterfly coming and sitting on the football. The entire life till that time flashed back in his mind. He realized that the day he stopped chasing butterflies was the day he stopped living for himself. And it was the day he started listening to what others said. We all chase something which is more worth than a butterfly, and that is our dreams. But what happens? Someone comes and says that this is not for you, or you cannot do this, and we abort the chase. It happened with me. I wanted to do an international MBA and PhD after that. My wife made a fun of me. She said, "Our kids are going to school. How will it look when the father also goes to school? And why do you want to do another MBA when you already have it?" But I always wanted to do this, but could not gather that courage that, okay, let me go after it. But this December, something happened that changed. I was in India having a vacation, relaxed, watching a movie that all dads should be proud to watch with their boys. Incredible Hulk. So my 4-year-old son was sitting and I was watching the movie. And there is a scene in that movie at the end where the villain becomes more stronger than the Hulk by drinking some chemical, and he's destroying the entire city. And the Hulk is in the helicopter with the actress and some military guys. They are taking Hulk to some other place. The Hulk says to the actress and this military guys, "I want to go down and fight this person, villain." The actress looks at Hulk and says, "You cannot go, because there is a possibility that you may not come alive. The Hulk looks at the actress and says, "At least let me try." And that word hit me like a bullet. I don't know why, but my son was enjoying the movie, but I got the message what Hulk wanted to share. At least give it a try. When I came back to Dubai, the first thing that I did was I went to the college that I wanted to do MBA. I applied for scholarship, got the scholarship, did all the paperwork, and my college will start in September. I wanted to do that, and I got that message. I am asking all of you, what is that dream that you are still holding? You may be thinking that I may be too young, I may be too old. It can be a book that you want to write. It can be a business that you want to start. And you may think there are 100 possibilities to fail, and you are looking for the right moment. What I want to say is not that go after your dreams, chase your dreams, you will be successful. No, no, no. I don't want to tell all these things. I just want to request to all of you, whatever that dream is that you have, at least give it a try. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thanks, Vinod. That's very inspiring speech. Okay, we are going to give everybody 1 minute to give their individual feedback to Vinod, and then we will move to the second speaker, which is Nikhita. But let's give everybody 1 minute so that they can give their individual feedback to Vinod.
It's 1 minute.
Thanks, Louis. Thank you. Moving on, our next speaker is Nikhita Winkler, and Nikhita is going to speak about blogging 101. But before that, I'm going to ask Nikhita's evaluator, Fursey, to give the objectives of the speech. So Fursey, take it away for Nikhita's speech.
Thank you. Nikhita will be doing a speech from the persuasive influence pathways. She will be doing researching and presenting. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic while using the word cheeseburger. I'm sorry, that last part, I don't know what that was. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks, Fursey. So Nikhita Winkler, blogging 101, Nikhita Winkler. Take it away, Nikhita.
We're starting with a lot of questions today. Welcome, everyone. I have 4 questions before I get started. My first question is, who here loves to journal? Second question, do we have any authors in the room? Wow. Third question, any aspiring authors? And last question. Any of you who believe that you are an expert on a very specific topic? One hand. Yeah. Well, if you've had your hand up for any of these questions, then I highly recommend you to consider blogging. Blogging is a great way for you to share your knowledge and expertise while also expanding on it within a community that you attract online. People who can relate to your content and people who are there to learn from you. There are over 600 million bloggers. And every day, there is about 6 million blog posts being published. Wow, that's a very saturated field. But it has a bright future. It is here to stay because it teaches us how to communicate with our audience. It helps us and inspires us to learn new things, research about new topics, stay on top of the trends, and to help improve ourselves. Blogging is a powerful tool for visibility and credibility, just like having a book. So last night, I jumped in, being self-directed, to give a speech today. And I decided to do my research on blogging. And this is why. I am an aspiring author who loves to journal, and I believe I have proficiency in dance and wellness. I think I'm ready to become a blogger. But I never did any research until last night. Thank you, Toastmasters. And this is what I found from 3 websites, from 2 blogs, Productive Blogging, and which basically gave me all the questions that I need to be asking myself, and then earthweb.com, from where I got all of the statistics I will be sharing with you today. I also found an author called Jan Gira. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly because I think he's German, but I think I might also just be influenced with the Spanish language that I have right now. So these are the 3 resources, and I'll share them with you in the chat. I'm going to break down the information I found into 3 categories. The first, everything that I found last night that you need to know about planning before you start blogging. Then the things you need to know before you get into action. And lastly, some inspiration. When you plan, ask yourself these questions. 1, what kind of blogger you want to be? There is personal blogging, which is more like a journal, business and professional blogging, which is there to generate traffic for income. There is microblogging, which is more like Twitter. It's small messages straight to the point. Reverse blogging, which is a space that has different users. So different bloggers that blog onto this space. And then there's niche blogging. For those experts, this would be yours. Very specific topic that you would be blogging about. Knowing what kind of blogger you are helps to position you to ask yourself questions about and to brainstorm your content and how you want to structure this content. And then what you need to know to start actioning. This is what I found very useful, that within the past 5 years, the average number of words went from, per blog post, went from 800 to 1,100. And the average number of time spent on each blog post went from 2.5 hours to 3.5 hours. And this is because it's a very competitive market. And therefore, you need to enhance your quality of posts. That requires a lot more time. Ultimately, some inspiration. I found Jan Girard very inspiring. I came across him last night. I don't know how I came across his website. And the first thing I clicked on led me to his book, one of his most read books. Jan has published 10 books. But what's more inspiring is that he has spent 10 years living in a backpack. And so he challenged himself to write one blog post every single day for 30 days. And on the 31st day, he published a book. This book is called I Am Everything and Nothing. It is I am everyone and no one. I own everything and nothing. It's free on his website, and I started reading it. Quite catchy. What is he telling us? He's basically saying that you don't need a lifetime to write a book. You just need a blog. You can do it. So to wrap all of this up, I want you to take one thing away. And in the spirit of our theme today, blogging can help us to be more self-directed leaders. Blogging also helps us to be accountable, to follow through, because we don't want to disappoint our audiences. And if you don't have the guts, then step aside. But remember this in the words of Jan, no one will magically find you. Thank you.
Thanks, Nikhita. That's very inspiring. So let's give everybody 1 minute to give individual feedback to Nikhita. And also, I see the word of the day, stewardship, hasn't been used too many times so far. So I encourage everybody in their speeches, and more importantly, when we get into the table topics, to use the word of the day. Stewardship is the word of the day. So Luz, let me know when 1 minute is done.
It's 1 minute.
Thanks, Luz. Our third speaker for the day is Fursey, and he's going to speak on a title called Knock, Knock, Knock. But before that, I'm going to ask Fursey's evaluator, Peggy, to share the evaluation criteria. Peggy, over to you.
Thank you, Dinesh. Okay. Fursey is going to be working on the first speech of his evaluation and feedback project. And the purpose statement of that project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. So the purpose of this particular speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Back to you, Dinesh.
Thanks, Peggy. So, Fursey, the speech title is Knock, Knock, Knock. Fursey, take it away. The speech timings are 5, 6, and 7. Over to you, Fursey. Take it away.
Knock, knock, knock. Well, we all know what that is. That's the sound of opportunity. But do we really know what opportunity looks like? We think we know exactly what we want, and we think we're going to know it when we see it. But opportunity comes in many shapes and sizes. We all know the sound, but can we see it? Sometimes it's not easy to see opportunity because it might be behind a door. You know, the one that we're knocking on. For example, I came to China last August. I get put in quarantine. That's right, quarantine. 40 days of quarantine. They take it quite literally. You know, quarantine based on cuarenta. 40 days. Oh, yeah. So there I am in quarantine in a hotel room. You're sitting there waiting for somebody to come to the door because there's nothing else can happen. And finally, knock, knock, knock. And you go to the door going, I wonder who's going to be there. Now, there's no peephole. Okay, there's no peephole in this particular Chinese hotel room. So you can't look in there to go, I wonder if it's my mother-in-law and I'll pretend to be out back. That's not going to happen. So it's knock, knock, knock. You open the door. Hey, they have food. Quarantine's not so bad. Room service. Got a little package, little rice, little meat, little veggies, and the chopstick. It's fantastic. So later on that day, when I get knock, 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 I'm like, hey, let's go get some food. Open the door. In total gear. You know, like Contagion. White suit, sounding like Darth Vader. And she pulls out the world's longest Q-tip. Ready to do? That's right, swab test. The nasal swab test. Oh my gosh, I swear. She first looked at it and said, I dub thee Excalibur. Yeah. It's traumatic, ladies and gentlemen. It's traumatic. I used to have hair, you know. Tomorrow, it will be better. The next day, knock, knock, knock. Okay, who's gonna be out there? Is it going to be food? Yay! Or Don Quixote de la Mancha with a Q-tip? Who's it gonna be? Open the door. Hello. And she's just there with one of those little thermostat things, you know, put it up to your head, check the temperature. And for some reason I go like she can get a better shot at my head, maybe without the like glare, you know? So she checks my temperature. I thought, okay, that wasn't so bad. And I realized those are the 3 kinds of opportunities we get. Those are the 3 kinds of things that go knock, knock, knock in the middle of the night. There's one kind where it's something pleasant, look, food. And then there's one kind that's totally horrific, you know, lightsaber time. And then there's simply, how you doing? Let me check your temperature. You all right? That's fantastic. Sometimes we're on this side of the door. Other times, we're on this side of the door. We are the ones going knock, knock, knock. When we're mentors, when we are leaders, when we're thinking about lead, follow, or get out of the way, I'm leading. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, did you do a speech this week? Hey, knock, knock, knock. Would you like to be an officer this year? Hey, knock, knock, knock. Would you like this job? Now, sometimes you think, there's a job. That's just like the food. That's a good thing. Is it? I came to China to be a theater teacher. But 2 weeks after I got out of quarantine, my boss came to me and said, we're losing our principal. She's going back to the US. She got some good news, but she's got to go. You've had administrative work. Why don't you take the principalship? All I could think of was Don Quixote de la Mancha. Digging right up into my brain cell. You don't understand. I'm not so sure I'm cut out for this kind of leadership. You don't understand how much stress high school principals go through, especially if you've never been one. You don't understand the kinds of teachers that they have here that you somehow have to keep looking up to and satisfy. But I thought two things. One, if I don't take this opportunity right now, how am I ever going to look somebody else in the eye and say, you should take that opportunity? And the second thing was, 4 years ago, this same boss was my boss in Shanghai when I was in China before. And 4 years ago, he offered me this very same job. Yeah, knock, knock, knock. He offered me the very same job. But at the time, I said no. I said no because I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I was up to it. I thought there's no way I could do it. So I closed that door. I said, thank you, no. So this time around, when he says, Fursey, I'd like you to take this job. Yeah, bring it on. Let's do it. I hear the knock, 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 and I'm coming to that door, and I'm putting my hand on the doorknob, and I'm pulling that door open, and I'm saying, let's go. Whether it's food, or whether it's a temperature check, or whether it's Darth Vader sticking a Q-tip down my throat, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to the knock, knock, knock. And I hope you will too. Knock, knock, knock. You better go get that. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Fursey. Thank you. That's very inspiring. I think what Vinod said is give it a try. And you said knock, knock, knock. Both of your speeches were coming to me as an alignment. So as always, we are going to give 1 minute to everybody to give their individual feedback, and Luz, let me know when 1 minute is done. So 1 minute for everybody to give individual feedback to Fursey on his speech. Oh, we can see Ron here too. Hey, Ron, how are you? We miss you, Ron. I hope you are feeling well.
I am in the ICU unit in Kitchener, all by myself in isolation for a couple of weeks, it looks like. And I was lonely. And I thought, wait a minute, I can still go to Toastmasters. So
yes.
Here I am.
Perfect, Ron. That's where we say Toastmaster. Thanks, Luz.
Good to see you, Ron. Just in time for table topics, man.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so the two things we are going to do is we are not as tech savvy as Braham is. So I would ask everybody that since we had 3 speakers, Vinod, Nikhita, and Fursey, so you can send me your private message to see who you think is the best speaker, and then we'll announce it at the end. And it is
Dinesh,
yeah, sorry.
we have the poll actually. I can launch the poll.
That's the best one. Let's do it. If you can do that, Vinod.
Oh, okay. My Zoom is not updated, so somebody else can launch who is co-host. You can just
Uh,
click on like what you say, the polls and select the best effort speaker. The means it to say the names are given.
I think
Okay,
is Sandy
so-
the Oh, Dinesh, you have co-hosting?
yeah, I'm going to say launch.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's telling me that launching error. Maybe I can't. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not letting me do that.
Who is the other
Sandy, do you think?
co-host?
Sandy, do you think you can launch it?
I thought your idea to send everybody's vote to you was a great idea.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe let's do that way. We are, as you said, we're not as tax. So it's 10:28 at the moment. We are going to take 7 minutes of a break, and we will come back at 10:35. So use these 7 minutes. Use this. I think people haven't answered it, but we have the names there. So
I figured it out, but it's a minute or two too late.
okay. People are answering now too. People are still answering it. So that's good. That's good, Sandy. We're getting there. We're getting there.
At least give at least give it a try.
Yes, she's trying.
Yes. Perfect.
Nikhita said to put it in action.
Now,
So-
how do I know when to end it?
Maybe I think.
I can end it.
Yeah, just end it, Vinod.
Oh no, again it is saying Zoom needs to be launched. Just click on the end poll. That's it.
I ended the
Oh.
poll, I shared it. Now it says stop sharing.
Yeah, so it says stop sharing results. We know who the best speaker is. So thanks, congratulations, Fursey. So we're going to take 6 minutes off the break, and we'll come back at 10:35. In the meantime, I see we have one guest, Kavita, here. So Kavita, do you want to share something? How are you finding the meeting so far?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, thank you. I'm not able to get to the Zoom here. One of my
That's
windows
fine.
is
We can hear
closing.
you.
Okay, thank you. So I have been a member of Toastmaster since 2000, for a few years now. For about 6 years, I am a member of two clubs, Creekside, TD Toastmasters, which is a part of District 86, and also speaking from experience, Advanced Toastmasters, which is D60. Glennis and I are working on chartering a new leadership Toastmasters club, and she suggested that I attend your club. It's fantastic. I'm happy to be a guest at your club today and understand how your leadership advanced club is. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of your club today.
Thank you for joining us today. Although, as we said it in the beginning, we are short-staffed today, as we say in the corporate terms. Some of our executive members are attending District 86 conference today. And this is where we as a team are working to make sure that the show must go on. And Vinod, Sandy, me, Fursey, we all have stepped up to make sure that the meeting runs smoothly. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Dinesh.
Yeah. And Ron, we wish you a speedy recovery. Everybody in the Toastmaster is praying for your speedy recovery. We wish you that, hey, we're missing you, but thank you for taking the lead for joining the meeting today.
I hate to think of what I'd look like, but you know what? I don't care. I'm alive, which is the most important thing. And
Yes.
I'm actually in the meeting with District 86 as well, but they're on break. So I thought, oh, I bet I can do 2 clubs at once.
Wow. So you're doing multitasking. You're attending District 86 conference also. You're attending. This is what we call it as leading it. So people make excuses, for lack of better words, when they say that, oh, I can't do this. I have this challenge. You're an inspiration. Being in the ICU, in a hospital, you're still attending not only leadership team this meeting, but you're attending the District 86 conference. You are a true inspiration to many of the people, those who make excuses or those.
It's one of the things I ask people to think about when they say no, when they're asked to be part of something. Ask yourself, is that really true? Or should I really be saying, I don't want to go to your meeting? And at least that would be honest about it, right? I mean, but if anybody tells me they can't find an hour a week to do something important, I don't believe you.
Yes, I fully agree with you. And I mean, I say this very respectfully. Toastmasters has changed me not only professionally, but personally also. Some of the people that I started in the Toastmaster way back in 2019, when they see me today and they tell me, Dinesh, you've grown a lot, okay, in the last couple of years time. And I said, I would not have grown if I had not joined Toastmasters. So that was one of the best decisions that I think I took by joining Toastmasters. You have to come out of your comfort zone to, if you really want to improve onto it, or if you really want to do something, you have to do it. So, and again, Ron, you're a true inspiration. You're a true example of, yes, if we want to do something, then we find time to do it. We find what inspires us, what we like it. So, but we all are here for you. We all are praying for you. We wish you a speedy recovery. Okay, and we are looking forward to seeing you back in the meetings. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. So it's 10:35. I hope everybody is back by now. Okay, and we are going to move on to the second portion of our meeting today, which is the fun part of it, as the table topics. And we're going to invite our table topic master, Shreshi Karan. Shreshi, take it away. It's all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Let me dive into it. Absolutely. Table Topics is a long-standing Toastmasters tradition intended to help members develop their ability to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to an impromptu question or topic. All your responses should express your thoughts clearly and succinctly, lasting from 1 to 2 minutes. The cards will be shown by our timer, Luce, appropriately. So can I call upon you leaders to talk on any topic that I will give out? Whoever wants, please. Anybody who wants to be the first one? Okay, then I think
I'll go.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Sandy. Well,
I
I
need to take my mind off the Sergeant at Arms role, so make me speak.
Okay, here you go. Words have incredible power. They can make people's hearts soar, S-O-A-R, or they can make people's hearts soar, S-O-R-E. Expand with an example, or more if you prefer. Over to you.
Thank you very much for that questions. Words can hurt or have you sore. They certainly can. And I think that we often think that these are words that we just utter to others, perhaps in haste, not being good stewardships of the human race and being kind. But I'd like to focus my minute or my time with this question during Table Topics on what we tell ourselves and those words that we sometimes aren't even aware of because we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day in our heads spinning around. Most of them we're not aware of. Most of them loop or repeat, and most of them are negative. And until I knew that, I was a different person. Sorry, since I found that out. And I would ask you or invite you today to think about, do my thoughts beat me up or do they build me up? Although I was asked about words to others, my focus today is definitely, and I would invite your focus as well, what we tell ourselves, those thoughts in our heads. Make sure they're thoughts that make you soar and not sorry. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Wonderfully said, wonderfully spoken. Next, who can I call upon next? Yes,
I think Erica is set.
Yes, absolutely. Here you are. Words and students could be recalcitrant, out of order, or trying to slip by without being noticed. But once you got them working together, unobtrusive and efficient, it seems beautiful. What are your thoughts on this saying?
I just want everyone to just ignore that hand that is showing. I can't seem to get rid of it. Madam Table Topics Master, the last couple of months, I have this quote in my mind that I'm meditating and contemplating on. And the quote was written by Ella Wheeler Wilcox, and she said, "There's no fate, chance, destiny that can hinder the firm resolve of a determined soul." And because I've been thinking about it quite a while, the words are, one moment I'm thinking, what does that word firm resolve mean? What does it mean to me? And how can I apply that? In another setting, I'm aware of when others are demonstrating that firm resolve. And then I can see there's something behind it. That determination of a self-directed leader has to do with words they speak, actions they do, situational execution of where they add to bring more inspiration to others. And that is why I love this quote and the saying about have this firm resolve but determined soul. Because unless we have certain, not habits as such, but systems that we build on and work on to make ourselves better leaders, words and actions of others can impact us in such a way that it either can be destructive or it can be inspirational, but that is when we hand over our power to that kind of attitude. So I want to say, as self-directed leaders, we are careful about what we put out there. We are careful, or at least we are reflective and contemplative of what it is, of how we influence other people's lives. And today I just want to inspire and encourage everyone to look at how we affect others through our actions. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much. Okay, next guest Anusha wants to have a go. Here
Yeah,
is your
thank you.
topic. Yes. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. What, in your opinion, is how does a true leader deal with such a situation? You can give examples.
Thank you. Well, most people don't listen with the intent to listen. They do it with the intent to reply. Fortunately, knowing that your topics are going to be long, I heard it very intently. And my aim, of course, has to be to reply. Now, what a true leader does is he ensures that the people he is talking to are on the same page as him. And to do that, he makes it a simple two-way communication in which he asks the listeners to echo what he is saying. Echo, or let's say mirror what he is saying. In that, he says something and then asks one of the people in the audience or his group to respond to him by echoing or mirroring what he's saying to ensure what he said has actually been understood. Thereafter comes the stage to reply. Replying would be a consequence to listening, but it cannot be the instantaneous response without absorbing what the content is all about. So a good leader, for example, would call for a meeting. He would give everybody an opportunity to speak. He would ask person A to speak, ask person B to mirror, and thereafter ask person A to respond. To ask person B to respond to what person A said. That would be the hallmark of a leader who would lead the way by ensuring that communication is a two-way process and it's a simple process, not something which is out in the clouds, something we don't understand, and something which is absolutely difficult for us. So listening is a two-way process. Replying has to be there, but stage one is absorption of what has been said. And I hope I've been able to do that. Back to the table topics master.
Thank you very much, Anusha. Okay. Now, can I call upon Ron if you are able to give it a go?
Ron is in ICU. Rishi, let's move to somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So who will do the honors next? Let's call somebody.
Vinod.
Nikhita wants to do it.
Okay, Nikhita.
Oh, no, Vinod.
No.
Okay, Vinod. The past is your lesson. The past is your lesson. The present is your gift. The future is your motivation. You can expand on this.
Thank you, table topic master. The past, present, and future. Now, I am going to share something, a new paradigm with all of you that I have been learning from last 1 month. It's from one of the best philosophers in the world called J. Krishnamurti. He says that thoughts are your enemy and any thought is only in past. And whatever is past, if you are thinking about it, you are not going to go anywhere in the world. So whether your past was glorious or whether you had pain in your past, to hell with the past, let it go. To the future. In psychology time, there are two types of time, physical time and psychological time in our mind. There is nothing called as future in the psychological time. The philosophers never believed in that. There is only one thing that is present. And when we say present, again, it is not a thought. Because when you are thinking usually about the past or something that is not very helpful. Remember, thought is your enemy. Ask this question, is it serving you? The only thing that is present is action. When you take an action, that moment you are living. Again, I will repeat, there is no past, there is no future. Right now, leadership speaks. Over to you, table topic master. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Yes. Okay. The next, can I call upon guest Kavita? Are you willing to speak?
Sure, I can give it a try.
Yeah. The topic is, what's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet.
Thank you. This is a point of contention for me. It's always has been. My name is Kavita, which is a very, very, very common name in India. And when I grew up, there was always another Kavita in my class. So I always wondered, why did my parents have to pick such a common name? In my 9th grade, there was another classmate who had the same initial as me. In the place that I grew up, there was no last name. So it was all by initials. And the teacher was like, wow, both of you have the same initials. Okay, let me add your father's name to your name. And turns out both of us had the same father's name. It was pretty crazy. We had to attach our grandfather's name and father's name to our name for that year. From then on, I was like, I did not feel very good about my name because it was that common. A name is something that if it is unique, it gives you a unique identity to yourself. And I felt that I didn't have it. But when I lived in US for a while, I noticed that my name was very unique, and it kind of made me like my name a little bit more. And then when I came to Canada, it was still the same. But this problem of having this very common name when I grew up, it helped me choose a better name, a unique name for my children when I had my children. So yeah, a name is not just a name. It is so much more than a name. It is a part of your identity. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much. Okay, one last topic. Who would be willing?
I'll go.
Have a go. Yes. Who? Nikhita?
Nikhita, yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, name 2 attributes of a leader that you like, follow. Pick one leader from this meeting right now who fits the bill and tell us why.
Wow. Erika Sasha is the leader I want to talk about. She's the person and the reason why I am here today. She has, like me, well, like what she did to me, attracted so many other leaders and have helped them to master their voice. Erika is self-directed. She always tries to improve herself, to be better, so that she positions herself to be able to improve others. The last time I spoke to her, she said she's not such a good listener. And I do believe that one attribute of a good leader is to be a good listener. I've noticed with Erika as well that maybe she's not such a good listener. But when she talks, she has so much passion and connection and power in her voice that it's an attribute that she actually fills with all the other qualities that she has as a leader. The second most important quality for me is love and care for the people that you lead, because this helps you to connect with them, to honestly, genuinely connect. And this is something that Erika has. She cares for the people she's leading. To be a leader is not something you do today. You have to walk with people by their side, not behind them or in front of them, by their side. And that's what she does. She will hold your hand, she will walk with you, And I know right now, all she wants as a leader is recognition. She doesn't want fame. She doesn't want anything. She just wants people to recognize that she's there to lead. She's there to help. She's there to guide. That's our Toastmaster, Erika Sasha. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nikhita. Okay. Thank you all leaders for your cooperation. Over to you, TM Modi.
Thank you, Sreshi, the tabletop master, for for the wonderful table topic. So, sorry, I have, since we are having some challenges running the poll, so you can send a message to the table topic master who you think is the best table topics, and then she will then announce it. In the meantime, moving forward, we are going to ask our general evaluator, Francois, to evaluate the entire meeting. So Francois, over to you.
Hello to everyone, leaders. I must apologize for not having my camera on. Internet instability. And you know how that go when you open the camera, you start talking, it starts to behave on its own. I am happy to be your general evaluator for this morning. And I will first call on our first evaluator. And our first evaluator will be Erica, who evaluated TM Vinod. So I'll call to the virtual lectern, our first evaluator, TM Erica.
I will do my best to be a steward of Vinod's gift, because today I experienced every word that he engaged with us, to take us on that journey of when he had to make a decision to at least try. And there was one specific thing that I was looking for everyone today in this meeting who were not here last week. There was a specific feedback that was provided to Vinod by Brent, who evaluated his other speech. And it was, but this is also applicable to all of us when we deliver a speech while we are standing. When you stand and you want to make eye contact and how to do that effectively, Vinod knows how to look into the webcam so that the audience or the person, the participant looking at him feels that he's looking at you. I always feel he's looking at me. But last week he had his either laptop or lower down and he was almost looking down at us. And Brent gave him feedback on how to elevate his laptop so that it's more on eye level. And today I was watching for that. And lo and behold, he did that. And I wanted to say immediately I could sense a better connection. So well done for that. I appreciate that. Then Vinod also demonstrated a technique that every speaker in the world want to do. And that is deliver a compelling introduction. And how did he do that? The moment he started to speak, he asked a question, he demonstrated by putting up his hand, and he waited a little bit for a response, and he took us on this journey with the content. I have to say that every time Vinod speaks, I feel inspired. I feel that he delivers the content in such a way that I understand what it is that he wants to bring across. He also invites the audience on a regular basis when he makes a statement. And so his call to action is normally on point, and I like that. One thing that I would like to recommend, or that from my side that I observed, is when Vinod was speaking about the butterfly, I wanted to see a butterfly and perhaps have a painting or drawing or even a slide of the butterfly. I think that would make a very good impression while he is demonstrating and telling his story. So Vinod, a beautiful butterfly can perhaps be more impressionable. And later on, when I had to think about what he talked about, at least to try and that story from when he watched with the Hulk with his son, I also could see his usage of wording. He paints the picture, and I was there with him watching the story of the Hulk. And I said, yes, I also want to try. If there is anything that I want to do in my life, because he's inviting us constantly on that journey while he's sharing the story. So as he's such a great storyteller. So what I want to say from my side as an evaluator and a steward of his gift is say that you are an inspirational speaker, Vinod, and keep on improving and putting yourself out there, because your gift will add so much value to the world. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, TM Erica, for your evaluation of your speaker, TM Vinod. And one of the things I was definitely surprised when you said smartly you will use the VPE presentation and evaluation when you going to evaluate TM Vinod. And I said, wow, that is what you call thinking on your feet quickly. Leadership definitely speak. I will now call on our second evaluator, TM Fursey. TM Fursey, I'll call on TM Fursey. He evaluated speaker TM Nikhita. The virtual lectern is yours, TM Fursey.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you, Nikhita. I appreciate the opportunity. I think this is the third or is it the fourth time that I've had an opportunity to give you feedback. So thank you. I know it's like getting old, dude. A very nice, calm demeanor, excellent information. That's first and foremost, right? It's a research project. Great information, gave us a lot of data, gave us those websites. You even added some into the chat afterwards. Fantastic. Lots of details, and that's not easy. We can always talk about our opinions, but when you have to deliver details, very hard. And I appreciate that you did that. I liked how you keyed in on that author. Sorry, cats are going at it. Don't look. So I like how you keyed in on the author and how you talked about what he did and the writing of the blog every day. And then at the end had a book. And I saw how that came back to one of your questions about who wants to write a book. So that was very nice. I like that. I kept watching people to see how they were tuning in with it. Head nods, a lot of focus. You held our attention. Again, not always easy on a research topic. Well done. One of the things I'm going to also tell you is that in your table topic that you just did, locked in. When you just did your table topic just now, you are locked in and you did not let us go. Just saying, great strength. That's something you want to hang on to. Things that I think you could do to move yourself forward. Some of these aren't really wrong. They're something to work on. There's an objective and a subjective, I think, when you do things like research. Just an opinion, maybe I'm wrong. But there are things that might be considered fact, and you have a voice that we use when something is fact. And then you can switch your voice if you desire when something, in my opinion, I'd like this. Does that make sense? So we can present one thing as factual. I have neither a like or a dislike for it. But when there is something that I like, I can change my voice because I like it. You did this at the end. You sort of leaned in when there was something that you really enjoyed. I think you can do that more during the entire presentation. By the way, part of that calm demeanor that you had, it's very nice because it's very approachable and very calm. Like I know when I get in front of the camera, I get very manic. Some people are like, ooh, too much, little too much mustard. Yours on this one, very calm, very safe, and that's excellent. Last thing, things to challenge yourself on. Your sense of humor is there. You don't know it though. There were at least a couple times I went, oh, that was funny. Hit that, punch it. So I made those notes and know that your sense of humor is there. Let it go, let it ride. You'll have a lot of fun with that. And those different voices for those personas in the speech. I gave you some detailed notes on that as well. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Oh, I know what it was. Personas from speech to speech. You are showing different sides of your personality from speech to speech. Excellent. Well done. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, TM Fursey, for your evaluation. And I must say this, in your beginning of your opening statement in welcoming your speaker, you made the speaker relax with a joke. And every speaker, no matter how much time we speak, you know you're going to present, you get nervous. And when you said at the end, the objective, and you added in cheeseburger, in my Antiguan twang, we say busted up with laughter. So I busted up and I said, wow, this is going to make the speaker relax. And she was definitely relaxed throughout her presentation. And I say, thank you. Thank you so much. So that's one of my takeaway of your opening in welcoming your speaker. Thank you. Okay, and our last evaluator is TM Peggy. TM Peggy, who evaluated speaker Fursey with his project. Virtual lectern is now yours, TM Peggy.
Thank you very much, Francois. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and most of all, Fursey. That was quite the speech to do an evaluation on, so thank you for presenting it. Your opening and closing were absolutely wonderful. And speaking of names, it really related to me because my name being Unlock, the one thing I got teased about a lot when I was a kid was unlock the door. And your speech gave that a whole new perspective for me. So thank you for doing that. I think the words that you used in your presentation were so vivid and they really caused my imagination to open up and see a lot of new things that I didn't see before. So again, thank you for doing that. One of the things I would watch when you're giving a presentation, especially if you don't know the whole audience, is slow down a little bit with the mother-in-law jokes. So I know that might be a little bit picky, but I think it is important, especially in the climate we're in nowadays, to don't pick on your mother-in-law. She's probably a wonderful person. So mind you, we do jest about ourselves as well. Your gestures were absolutely amazing. The different facial gestures you used were wonderful. You used the space of Zoom really well. And one particular instance on this is when you were moving from side to side, you actually moved from side to side on Zoom, and that really added a lot of impact to your speech. Another thing that I found really effective was when you were talking about when you said no to the principal's position, you took off your glasses. And that to me was really indicating that you didn't see the opportunity at that time. But then when you said yes, you put them back on again. So you used a lot of really intriguing gestures and use of the prop of your glasses to add a huge impact to your speech. One other thing that I would suggest to improve, your vocal variety is absolutely amazing, but it may be me and my hearing as well, although I think it's not too bad, is when you spoke really loud, you did show a little bit of anger there, but that's a good thing, because I think I'd be angry too if somebody was coming at me with the longest Q-tip in the world to stick it down my throat. But when you did speak loud, sometimes the enunciation of the words made it a little difficult for me to hear what you were actually saying. So just slow down a little bit when you're angry and saying those big words, like stay away from me with that big Q-tip. So very well done. Your gestures were absolutely amazing. And it was really difficult to find things that I thought you could improve on in the speech. So thank you very much and well done. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator Francois.
Thank you so much, TM Peggy, for your evaluation of TM Fursey. And when you open up your opening of TM Fursey when he was about to speak, you could tell the excitement in it, you know. So it's like, yes, I'm so happy I'm going to evaluate this person. Yeah. So you heard the excitement in it. Thank you so much for your evaluation of TM Fursey. I'll ask our timer. Can you please give us the time of our evaluators? Okay. Oh, it's not in the chat. All right. Timer. All right. In the meantime, all right. So in the chat.
I
Okay,
just posted
right.
on the chat.
Okay, so TM Scarlett is 4 minutes and 34 seconds. TM Fursey is 3 minutes and 37 seconds. And TM Peggy is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Thank you for that. I will now ask our grammarian to give her report. And our grammarian is TM Peggy.
Thank you again, Francois. The grammarian's report this evening, actually this morning, I'm in Canada. I did not hear a lot of filler words. With ums, I only heard one, and with ahs, I only heard about 5. So I think as far as filler words, we were doing really well. As far as the word of the day, stewardship, or variations of stewardship, I did hear 3. So we didn't use the word of the day a lot, but we used some absolutely amazing grammar throughout the meeting. And I think that in itself was absolutely wonderful, that some of the words that we used today were things that might have made a better word of the day than stewardship. So thank you for some of your beautiful choices of words. And I think that is all in. I'll hand it back to the general evaluator again, Francois.
Thank you so much, TM Peggy, for your report, your grammarian and our counter report. We thank you so much for that. And my evaluation, let me see if I haven't missed anyone. My general evaluation of the meeting, I must say, it was very well put together. Everyone stepped in based on the numbers, as our Toastmaster of the day mentioned in the corporate, it's a short staff. Everyone definitely plugged in to fill in the role, and something we've learned in Toastmasters, which is Toastmasters wear many hats, and definitely we all chimed in quickly to fill in the roles. And it was definitely a wonderful meeting where the topic master chose questions that spoke to the theme for today's meeting. And it really had you thinking, even though you might not have participated in the table topics itself, but it really had you think like, wow. And it lined up with some of those speeches as well, 2 of our presenters tonight. This morning. And finally, I would like to say that we will continue to lead where we are. Let's continue to lead in our respective professional life. What we take from our meetings here, we put it to practice in our professional life. When persons ask, how? And we can gladly say that being a Toastmaster and also being part of Leadership Speaks, it helps a lot, and we can invite them to come in. That's the end of my evaluation, and I will now hand the virtual lectern back to our acting, I would say it would be our acting of president, since he's not here, who will be closing the meeting.
Thank you, Francois, the General Evaluator, for the wonderful evaluations that you did. We have now a few things to do. One is to announce the Best Table Topics Award. And the second is we ask everybody to send their votes for the evaluator. So evaluators, we had Erica, we had Peggy, and we had Fursey. So if you can send your best evaluator report, but for the time being, we're going to announce the best table topics. Let's celebrate the best table topics. Is the best table topics for today is our guest, Anusha. Anusha, congratulations. Want to say a few words? How do you feel, Anusha, for getting the best table topics? You hear, Anusha?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
So we said you got the best table topics award for this meeting. Do you want to say a few words? Two parts. One is how do you feel getting the best table topics, and the second is how do you think the meeting went? What's your thought is, your experience of the meeting?
Okay, so I think the meeting went beautifully. I got to hear a variety of topics and very special one by his name. And overall, I enjoyed each speech. Each had its UA and printed line. And get the topics award is indeed. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anusha. Thank you. And I see we had another guest, Kavita, also, if she's still here. I think she's dropped off. But we are still waiting to hear the best evaluators votes, which we said send it to the general evaluator. So Francois, the general evaluator, have you received any best evaluators report so far? Votes so far?
Yes, our best evaluator goes to TM Fursey. TM Fursey is voted best evaluator. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Fursey. Okay, for getting the best evaluator award. Moving on, anybody has any comments, feedback about the meeting? How did, or any other thing? We still have a couple of minutes. There's about 14 minutes still left. If anybody wants to say a few words, otherwise we will then end the meeting. Any final thoughts from anybody? Hearing none, then we'll give these 15 minutes back to you guys. So have a wonderful rest of the afternoon if you're in Canada or rest of wherever part of the world you are. It was indeed both a pleasure and an honor for me to serve you today as the Toastmaster of the day today. For you, I may not have been perfect. Okay, I may not have been perfect, but this is where what Vinod said and where what Fursey said, knock, 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 or give it a try. So I did try. Okay, I give it a try. Okay, I may not have been perfect, as I said. We all are here learn, to improve, to learn from everybody else. And as we said in the beginning, I could not have done this role without the support of all of you. So thank you for all of you for stepping up and taking double roles. Peggy took a double role, Fursey took a double role. Some of you other, Vinod jumped in to do the poll with helping Sandy out. This is what we call it, or this is what is the team spirit, the culture, the community, and having Ron joining in the meeting. This is all, Toastmaster is a community, okay? And I have been saying this to everybody. I am a product of Toastmasters, okay? If somebody had seen me when I had joined 2 years back to where I am, there has been a lot of growth in me personally. And one thing that I always believe is sharing is caring. We all learn from each other. We all support each other. We all do that. So thank you for everybody for stepping in, whether it was a speaking role or whether it was an evaluator role or anything that you are doing. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Amazing Toastmaster of the Day job, Dinesh. Very well.
Thank you. Thank
It
you,
was
everybody.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.